All right, Ms. Aislison here. Today we're going to start with Unit 1, LT7 notes, graphing inequalities. Okay, if you remember from our LT6 notes, you have to have y equals mx plus b in order to be able to graph this on a line. So when I'm looking at number 1, it says y equals negative 3x plus 5. So it is in that y equals mx plus b, so I can go ahead and start graphing. So remember, we start with our b, so my b value on this one is my 5. And that 5 is going to be graphed on this axis right here. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to find where 5 is. So 5 starts right there. Okay, because it's a negative 3, that means I'm going to go down 3. And then if there's no number under it, I'm going to put it over 1. So down 3 and then to the right 1. So going down 3, 1, 2, and to the right 1. And you just keep going. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Okay, and I can't go any more than that. I can't go down anymore, and I can't go up anymore. And this last one should not be right there. That does not belong there. So I can't go any further, so I'm going to go ahead and put that line in right there. Okay, when I'm looking at number 2, I see negative x plus 3y equals 6. Well, that's not at y equals mx plus b. So now we have to get it in y equals mx plus b. This over a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite negative x plus 3y equals 6. Well, I have to remember that I want to get my x on the right side of the equation. So if I have a negative x, that really, if there's no number in front of that x, there's really a 1 there. So I have a negative 1x. So to move that negative 1 over, I'm going to say plus 1x on this side and plus 1x on this side. When we're y equals mx plus b, our 3y comes first. Remember, our x comes first, so I need my 1x plus 6. And then that y is not by itself, so I'm going to divide this by 3. If I divide that by 3, that has to be by 3, and that has to be by 3. Okay, so now I'm at y equals, so it's a positive 1/3 x, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, so I'm going to start at that b value. Remember, b is our last one right there. So my b says I have to start on this line right here. So my b is going to start me at positive 2. And then my y, it's both positive. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 3. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. Got a little extra dot in here. That one does not belong right there. Okay, and I can't go up anymore, but I can go down. But if I go down, I have to do the opposite. So remember, 1/3, a positive 1/3, is the same as a negative 1 over a negative 3. Those are the same thing. So negative, I'm going to go down 1 and then to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 1, 2, 3. And I can't go any more than that, so now I can just connect those lines. Number 3 says x equals 5. Well, if I remember right, when I graph these, I need them to be y equals mx plus b. And I don't have anything in this problem. But remember, our b is always graphed on this y-axis. Okay, that's the y-axis. This one says x equals 5. So when it just has x equals, what they want is you to graph it on your x-axis. So this is my x-axis right here. So my x says x equals 5, or my problem says x equals 5. So I'm going to put a dot right on that 5, and it says no matter what, all of my coordinates are going to be 5. So right now, it's at 5, 0. That's where I'm sitting. Okay, if I put a dot up right above it, now I'm at 5, 1. So I went over 5 and up 1. I could put a dot below it, and now I'm at over 5, so I got on my elevator, right? I found my hallway that I want to go in, and now I'm down at negative 2, so 5, negative 2. So this one's just saying no matter what, our line is just going to be a straight line up and down like that. When it says x equals 5, it's going to be a straight line up and down. All right, so now we're going to move a step further and we're going to graph inequalities with 2 variables. Okay, in order to do that, you have to put the inequality in slope-intercept form, and that is y equals mx plus b. Okay, decide what line to make dotted or solid. So if you have just a less than or greater than symbol, it's going to be dotted. But if you have a less than equal to, greater than equal to, that one's going to be, and I'm running out of room here, solid. And I'll show you what that is in just a minute. Okay, and then you have to decide to if you're going to shade up or shade down. So you're going to shade up if it's greater than or greater than equal to, and you're going to shade down if it's less than or less than equal to. Okay, and then you graph the inequality using the y-intercept and the slope, and that's what we've been doing, so you're good at that already. Okay, so let's look at this first one. Number 4 says y is less than or equal to 2x plus 3. Remember, I've talked to some of you about this, but remember when you're in 4th or 5th grade and we put alligator teeth on there, or on your greater than, less than symbol. If it's facing towards your y, your variable, if it's facing towards that y, then it's going to be greater than. If it's not facing towards that y and it's facing the other way, it's less than. Remember, the alligator always wants to eat the big one. So because this one is not facing towards your y, that's going to be less than. So y is less than 2x plus 3. Okay, so this 3 is that b, and remember we always start our b right here. Okay, so I'm going to start at positive 3. Oops, and let me move that over so you can see a little bit better. So I'm starting at positive 3. This 2x is telling me I'm going to go up 2. There's nothing under it, so I know it's a 1. So I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. Okay, I can't go up and over anymore. So now the opposite of that is to go down 2 and to the left 1. And just keep doing that until you can't go anymore. Okay, and this is where we decide if it's solid or dotted. So remember, we said if it's just this, it's going to be dotted. But if it's this and this, it's going to be solid. When I look over here, I see that it's both of them. So it's going to be a solid line. And I always remember that too because of the this bottom piece right there. If it has that solid line under the less than or greater than symbol, it's a solid line. So if it has the less than and the greater than and then the extra line under it, it's a solid. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a solid line right on there. And then, whoops, and my pen changed on me. That's awesome. It's getting real colorful here. Okay, so it's solid. And then we have to decide where we're going to shade. Well, because this says y is less than, I'm going to find a point on here, and I'm just going to pull down. So find a few points, and because it's less than, I'm going to pull down because that's less. Down is less. And then you're just going to go through, and you're going to shade everything on the other side of that line. Okay, so everything where those arrows are pointing needs to be shaded. Okay, this one says y is greater than, and I know it's greater than because when I'm looking, those alligator teeth are pointing to the y. The alligator wants to eat the bigger one. Y is greater than x minus 6. So I'm going to start on my y-axis, and I'm starting at negative 6. So negative 6 is way down here at the bottom. And it just has an x. Remember, if there's no number in front of there, there's really a 1 in front of there. And if there's no number under there, there's really a 1 under there as well. So this one says I'm going up 1 and over 1. So throughout this whole thing, I'm going to go up 1, over 1, and just keep going up and over until you run out of room. Okay? Now this one, remember we said if it's just this, it's dotted. But if it's this and this, with the solid lines under it, it's going to be solid. Okay, so I see right here, it's just the greater than, less than symbol, right? It's greater than symbol. So I know it has to be a dotted line. So what I do when I make my dotted line, I start out and I just start out there and I just go every other one like this. So there's my dotted line. Put your arrows on it, okay? And this says y is greater. Remember, because the alligator's eating it, so y is greater. So then I'm going to take a couple of the points, and because it's greater, I'm going to pull up. So find the points, and you just pull up, okay? Then you're going to shade everything that is above that. So everything that is above that is everything over to the left of that line. Okay, so all that needs to be shaded. Okay, number 6, y is, I'm looking to see where my alligator teeth are. Oops, that's the wrong pen. There they are right there. So the alligator's eating that y. So y is greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that axis. And it's saying I'm starting at positive 2. So I'm putting in a dot at positive 2. And then I'm going down 4 and over 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And then I can't go down and over, so I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. Okay? It has both the, when I'm looking at this symbol right there, it has the solid line under it. So I know I'm going to make a solid line through this whole thing. Okay, and then it says y is greater. So when it says greater, I'm going to find a couple dots. I'm going to pull up because greater is going high. So it's got to go high. So everything's going to be shaded above that line. So I'm going to find my shading. I'm just going to shade everything where those arrows are. So everything on that side. Okay, number 7 says y is greater than 1/2 x minus 2. So again, I'm starting on my, right there. It's telling me my b value is negative because I have to take that minus before it, so negative 2. So I'm going to start at negative 2. So I'll put a dot on negative 2, and then it's 1/2 x. So 1/2 tells they're both positive, so I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Okay, if I can't go up and over, I'm going to go down 1, over 2, down 1. I can't, on my graph, I can't really. Oh, I guess I could make it over, move it a little bit. There we go. Okay, I don't have the solid line, so I know that this one's going to be dotted. So I'm going to go kind of every other and just kind of dot in between. Put my arrows on the ends. Okay, and the alligator's eating the y, so I know it's greater. So y is greater. So now I'm going to take a couple points, and I'm going to go greater and stick those in there. Okay, now I'm going to shade everything above that line. So all that's going to be shaded. Okay, number 8 says 3x minus 2y is greater than negative 6. Remember, we need it in y equals mx plus b, and we're not really there yet, not quite there yet. So I'm going to rewrite this. 3x minus 2y is greater than negative 6. I'm going to draw my line right here. Okay, remember, I need my x on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 3x over here. If I do that on the left side, I have to do that on the right side. I'm left with negative 2y. It's still greater than, my x comes first. Okay, remember, I can't have my y with a negative 2 by it. We got to get rid of that negative 2. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 here. If I divide by a negative there, I got to divide by a negative here, and also divide by a negative here. Okay, if you remember, when you divide by a negative, you have to flip this sign. So now that's not going to go that way anymore. Now it's going to flip the other way. So now I have the 2's are canceled, so I'm left with y. This is now going to be less than negative 3 over negative 2. We're just going to leave that as 3 over 2. Those negatives both cancel out because I have one on the top and one on the bottom. A negative 6 divided by a negative 2. Again, a negative and a negative turn into a positive. So keep your x there, plus So negative 6 divided by negative 2 is going to give me a positive 3. So y is less than 3 over 2x plus 3. Okay, so this plus 3, I'm going to start at positive 3. Plot that, and it says I'm going up 3 and to the right 2. If I can't go up 3, I'm going to go down 3 and over 2. Okay, when I'm looking at the greater than, less than symbol, it does not have the solid line in it. So because it does not have the solid line, I need to make it dotted. So I'm going to dot, 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 dot all the way through. Put the arrows on, changing colors on you again. It's getting a little too close to where the color changer is. Okay, and it says y is less than. The alligator's not eating the y, so y is less than. So I'm going to find my points, and I'm pulling down because down is less. And then I'm going to shade everything below there. Okay, very similar with number 9. We don't have y equals, so we need to first get it in y equals. So right now, just a little bit. Oops. Right now I have 5x plus y is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so first I want to get rid of my 5x. I'm going to subtract that from both sides. Just have a y left on my right, less than or equal to negative 5x plus 10. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier to graph because we'd have to start at 10. Well, if we are starting at 10, we're just going to kind of get 6, 7, 8, 9. It would be about right there. So if you want to start that right there, you can. But it's telling me that I have to go, it's a negative 5x. So I'm going to go down 5 and over 1. Well, if I was at 10, that's where I started, to go down 5. Now I'm going to be at, whoops, I put that in the wrong spot. Oh, and that's not an eraser. There we go. Okay, so if I were to go down 5, I started at 10 and I'm going down 5. Well, that would be at 5, right? So 10 minus 5 is 5, but I still have to go over 1. So that one's going to be right there. Then I'm going to go down 5 and over 1. And just keep doing that. And I can't go any more, and it has both symbols. It has the solid line in it. So when you're looking at your greater than, less than, it has the solid line. So that means I need a solid line in here. And it says y is less than. So I'm going to find a point and pull down. Okay, and then I'm going to shade everything on that side. So everything over here is going to be shaded. Okay, number 10, y plus 3x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I'm going to rewrite that. Y plus 3x is greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay, y is not by itself, so minus 3x, minus 3x. Those are gone. Y, this is going to stay the same. I have negative 3x minus 6. Looks good. Don't need to do anything else with it. So I'm going to start at a negative 6 because that has minus 6 at it. So I'm going to start at a negative 6. And then it's telling me to go down 3 and over 1 because there's no number on it. Down 3 and positive 1. Okay? So remember, if I'm going down 3 and over a positive 1, that's going to be the same as going up 3 and then to the left a negative 1. So those are the same. So I can't really go down from a negative 6 because there's nothing there. So instead I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then to the left 1, not to the right because that negative is on that negative 1. So I'm going to go up 3, There we go. And it has that solid piece on the bottom. So when we're looking at that, it has a solid line. So I know that this is going to be a solid line. Okay, and it says y is greater. So I'm going to find, whoops, that's wrong. Okay, it says y is greater, so I'm going to find a dot, and I'm going to pull up, because y is greater. So now I know I'm going to shade everything on that side. I'm just going to come over here, shade everything right there. Okay, number 11, we have negative 2y is less than 4x minus 10. Okay, so we don't have y by itself, so we got to start by getting y by itself. So negative 2y is less than 4x minus 10. Okay, this is saying negative 2 times y. So the opposite of multiply is divide. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 here, divide by negative 2 here, and divide by negative 2 here. Okay, remember when you divide by a negative, you have to flip your inequality symbol. So that inequality symbol is now going to go the other way. So my y stays the same. Now it's going to be greater than 4 divided by 2 is 2, but it's 4 divided by negative 2. So we're going to put a negative 2 there because we have to keep that negative. And then if you remember, if you have a negative on the top and a negative on the bottom, those turn into a positive. So I'm going to say plus 5. Okay, so now we're at y is greater than negative 2, sorry, I missed my x, negative 2x plus 5. Okay, so we know we're going to start at that positive 5. So here's where I'm starting. And it says negative 2. So I'm going to go down 2 and then to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. Okay, when I look at my inequality symbol, I see that it only has the greater than symbol. It does not have the less or the equal to. So because it does not have that solid line, I'm just going to go through. I'm going to dot those. Okay, and it says y is greater than. So I'm going to pull up from a couple of those. And I'm going to go back and fill in what needs to be shaded. So this right here needs to be shaded. That completes your notes for LT7. Please stop and ask questions if you have them.